pick up wounds, move them slightly to the right, okay? And now we want to make a little space for the second piece of this process. And the second piece of this process is to begin to figure out who it is out in the world that you know. Who do you know? Who do you love? Who would you love to work with?
This is what we call your divine market.
And we call them your divine market because we believe you have a karmic connection to these folks, that you were born to serve them, that perhaps in other times, in other lifetimes, you've served them, or they've served you, or you've been in the same army together, or somehow co-created. And now the opportunity is for you to go in, since you've already started the process of going in with your wounds, and find out who it is in your heart that you're here to serve.
So some of the ways we often look at this is, once you start to understand the emotional landscape you really are an expert at on some level, you can then look out at the market. When we talk about market, we're talking about specific people, right? So whereas the wounds and the emotional information is psychographic information, emotional information, heart information, market is really more of the demographic. Who are these people sort of in a nuts and bolts place? And eventually, where would you find them on Google? Right?
That is literally what we're doing here.
So within 5 minutes, we went from wounds to Google. Awesome. And how it kind of works is like this. Okay, well, here's the thing I'm an expert at. If we go back to Pam Slim, liberation and escape. Well, who in the market, who in this world is having experiences where they're craving liberation and escape?
Now, here's the thing. You can't answer that question right now. To get to that answer, you have to go through a series of questions, a path, essentially. And what that path is going into your gut and figuring out who you really want to work with. Now, here's the really beautiful news. You were designed to want certain things in life. Those are your divine right. There are people out there who it is your divine right to serve. And we want to honor that by helping you go in and ask yourself these questions. Who do I really want to serve? Now, it may be that you've had a history as in corporate. Say you were in the insurance industry and you were in corporate and you were surrounded by women who were in insurance industries and they were like hitting a glass ceiling or having an issue. And you felt like, oh, I really knew these people, I could coach them, and you became a coach. You left the business, you became a coach, you worked with these women because you knew their pain. Are they the women you really want to serve? Maybe, maybe not. It may be in the back of your head you're really dying to work with at-risk teens, but you've always been afraid to admit it to yourself. Now the invitation is for you to go in and look at who you really want to serve, because that information is in there. You may be afraid to acknowledge who you really want to work with. You may feel like it's a very unlikely market. You can't even imagine how you would make money from this market. You know, you may be like my friend Terry, who was called to work with inmates and had to get all dressed up in big, baggy, ugly, unsexy clothes so she could be safe as a woman lawyer going in and teaching law to prisoners in the inmates in the prison system. You know, and she was really, really scared. And then she started to do it, and she felt herself relax into this work, and she realized, oh, I'm doing this because I'm meant to be doing this. She was always safe, she was always protected, it was always fine. That's how the Mother Teresas of the world go into the leper colony. Not that we should all work with inmates and people in leper colonies, but the opportunity is there for you to serve the people you are here to serve. Because you're not getting that desire because you're not supposed to pay attention to it. You're getting the desire because that is your divine right. And this may be emotional information for some of you.
There may be a voice in your head, and if there is, it's probably been there for quite some time, with a yeah, but of some sort.
How many people are feeling the yeah, but? Quite a few of you, great.
Good. So see if you can tell the yeah, but voice. Thank you. I know you're trying to protect and serve me. Would you be willing to allow me to uncover this today so that tomorrow we can address your yeah, but concerns?
Because that is what we're going to do tomorrow. Just so you know.
The issue is sometimes a cart before the horse issue, that without even exploring it, whatever this thing is, without it being willing or able to explore it, you'll never be able to find out, okay, well, how does this become a viable business, right? How do I make money working in the prison system or whatever it is? And what I know now is that there's always a way. There is always a way. And that you get to make choices. How, when, if you do it, and under what circumstances. So know that just because you allow yourself to hear the voice of who these people are, doesn't mean you have to drop everything and serve those people tomorrow. And doesn't mean you have to do it in a way that doesn't honor your needs. That doesn't work either, does it? So just know that we aren't up here saying, it's going to be great. Everything's going to be fine. There is thought to this process. And there's also the willingness to hear who these people are and really understand who they are so that we can then apply the nuts and bolts specifics of, great, how do we build this out and make it work?
In a minute, you're going to have an opportunity to do another worksheet, this one about your divine market. Now, here's what's cool about this. You already know so much more detail than you're aware of about who you want to serve. And by the way, we're not even at the niche conversation yet. The way this works is, let's learn about the wounds, let's learn about who we'd love to serve, let's learn about what a niche even is. Let's see, hey, is there a possible way that I might fit into a niche? Oh, no, over here, let's learn about who else is serving niches that I'm kind of vaguely interested in. It's all vague, right? At this point, we want it to be vague. Yep. Do not push yourself into a, if you feel there's a conclusion to draw, cool. But don't worry if you don't have clarity. Just keep going into this beautiful guided spaces process of checking in. And you're going to have check boxes like, yeah, there are people who vacation abroad, or yeah, there are people who, commute to work or whatever. You want to, going through this worksheet, you want to be in flow and just allow those little answers to bubble up. And if none of them bubble up, that's okay. But if some of them do, wonderful. No pressure, okay?
So the last conversation was wound. This conversation is the holiness of your desire.
Beautifully put, love.
Thanks.
So what we want to do right now is lead you in a little 5-minute kind of spiritual grounding exercise. We don't even have to bring the lights down. It's just to close your eyes for a minute. Just put your notebooks down. And I'm going to prepare you, or we're going to prepare you to go into this worksheet in a space of deep self-love.
Because it's an act of self-love to serve the people that are in your heart.
And you're going to be guided, just closing your eyes for a minute, you're going to be guided to some specifics. You're going to be guided to really learn specifically who this market is. Because you want it to be so much more specific than you've ever been before, because we want you to name your desires in a more specific way than you've ever been invited to before. Inhaling. Just exhale and let all your worry and concern go right now. You are doing beautifully.
This business that you're feeling into already exists.
It's magical and it's in your heart, just waiting to be born. And all you have to do is surrender. That's all this work requires of you this entire weekend. It's just surrender to what you already know to be true. Inhaling one more time and just let it go with a big breath. Feeling your guidance, inviting in your guidance, bringing forth those who are unseen and seen in your life as your love and invisible support. Let yourself be surrounded by the energy of your upstairs team, whoever it may be. Faces may come to mind or names. You may even encounter some pets that you've connected deeply with. They're all here supporting you because they know that you know there's greater wisdom right inside of you, just waiting to be born. Allowing that wisdom to bubble forth, knowing you are safe in this moment to discover that which is yours to own, that which is your divine birthright. And doing so with deep love and compassion for yourself, because that's all that matters right now.